Welcome to Be the Voice podcast, brought to you by Voices Magazine, where we are using our voices to shatter the silence. It's time to be informed, encouraged, and empowered with your favorite host, Dee Marie.
Well, welcome to Be the Voice podcast. This is your host, Dee Marie, and we are back with another amazing conversation. Be the Voice podcast is actually brought to you by Voices Magazine, and I am actually the chief editor of Voices Magazine, and it was created to actually bring stories from survivors of sexual abuse, and it's stories of them thriving, just moving forward, overcoming, healing, and all of that. Plus it has Counselor's Corner, spotlight people that are doing good in the community, fashion and beauty. What else is in there? Gosh.
Special.
Yeah, we have a special section for contributors, and then also tips and safety. So Be the Voice podcast actually is an extension of the magazine. And we just want to use this platform so it can be a safe space for survivors to bring out stories that they want to bring out. And these are everyday people that have overcome traumatic experiences, but are willing to share that story so that way that they can help others begin their own healing journey.
Absolutely.
So this evening I have back in the studio my sister, somewhat co-host, Latonya Buford.
Hello, everybody.
I'm like that hat girl. She got a little hat on. Yeah, I'm trying to work with these micro locks here. They coming along.
They are.
They
it's
coming
gonna take
along.
some time. What did you say last time? It's a journey. It's a journey.
So we are back this evening, and so the very first podcast that we had, we talked about 11 years ago from where we have come until we are now. So tonight, we're actually going to dive in and really get into some of the details.
Right.
And what's so interesting is that when we first had the podcast, the first one, we talked about, how we have healed from that. We're actually still kind of healing from that.
Right.
And how, 11 years ago, we told our truth. And now here we are, talking again. But we really didn't tell the story, of what happened to us, our experience, our, traumatic event, everything. We really did not dive into that. And someone actually asked me about that because, and I don't know about you, but I was kind of like, at the time, like our first podcast, do we need to tell this story again? Because remember I said when it's a journey, sometimes you feel like, oh, do I have to tell this again? And even though we were saying how we were overcoming, I think a part of me was still like, do we need to tell it again? And, actually, yes, we do.
Right.
Because we need to tell the truth about sexual abuse. We need to expose everything about it. We need to shatter the silence. It's things that you need to know, to look out for, things that we went through that we want you to know. So that way you guys can be informed and you can take, as much information away as you can. So that way, if you suspect something or just have the knowledge, if someone comes to you and talk to you about sexual abuse.
And then also, because so many people there's still so many people that have not heard the story.
Yeah.
So we need to get it out there so people who are going through and are new to us, they'll realize and hear what we actually went through.
Right. Yes. And I'm going to say this real quick, y'all. We do not have a mic tonight. As you see, there is no mic. There is no mic. Because the dog decided he wanted to eat the cord and the mic. And the new mic hasn't come yet. But you know what? But I just want this to be a lesson to anyone that is trying to start something. And sometimes, you're like, well, I don't have it all together. Baby, just go. Because there are people and things that is waiting for you, waiting for whatever you went through, and you can't let a microphone stop you from telling your truth.
What's so funny is I have a group of people that I work with at my job, and every morning I send them a motivational quote. So this morning the quote was, if you wait on, if you're always waiting till you're ready, you'll never get started. So that's the thing. If you always wait just till you're ready, you'll never get started because you'll never be fully ready.
Right. Never be fully ready.
You just got to go with what you can.
That's right.
It's going to come and go and fail and flop and do all kinds of stuff. You got to roll with the punches.
Exactly. But we're going to move forward tonight, and we're going to discuss, what we went through.
Right.
Now, so Latonya is actually older than me. So we're a year apart. She's older than me. And even though I'm the one that told the story, she actually remembers a lot more than what I do.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know where you want to start with that, or you want to start with me telling, or
I don't know.
Here, okay.
Kinda,
Here, I'll
yeah, you're starting. You know, I fill in. Then, how detailed do we want to be?
Well, we won't get too detailed.
No, it's a whole lot of stuff that you don't want to know.
Yeah,
stuff that you do want to know.
Yeah. So we won't get too detailed, but we do want to at least, because there's some things that I think that that you need to know about sexual abuse, and because this is our assignment, it is our duty to tell you the truth.
Absolutely.
Yes. So just to start off, like we said, 11 years ago, we told the story of us being sexually abused. So unfortunately, at the ages of 3 and 4, my sister and I were sexually abused by a relative. And that is one myth. I think sometimes people don't think that it can be, well, I don't know if it's necessarily a myth, but I think sometimes people, when you think of like sexual assault or rape or anything like that, you automatically think of somebody in the bushes that's going to come out and grab you, and it's a stranger. But the truth is, 90% of the time, it is someone in your circle of trust. Yeah,
absolutely. Just that. Like you said, it's somebody you know, somebody you're close to. It could be family, it could be a family friend. It's usually somebody that's trusted, that you wouldn't think would do it, and they take advantage of that trust and they impure it.
Yeah. And so also too, a lot of times, and this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but when it is a trusted person or family member or whoever, now if it's an adult, sometimes they will actually groom, and we'll get into grooming, but they will groom not only the kid, but they'll groom the parents, and we'll dig deeper into that. But that's kind of how sometimes they can get away with it remaining a secret. So unfortunately, like I said, we were 3 and 4 when this happened. Now I know sometimes when people get sexually abused, they say how it happens like all like for years and years and years. Now, and I'll kind of let you start with this. I only remember bits and pieces. Now, there's one specific time that I remember vividly, but I truly only remember bits and pieces. I don't remember years. I don't remember, like everything that happened. I only remember bits and pieces. So, because I was so young, I was 3.
Right.
And honestly, I think that might be a protective mechanism too.
It's possible.
I really, at one point I wanted to try to figure out more, but now I'm like, okay, what I remember is what I remember. But you probably remember more than
I do. I remember several instances of it happening. And of course, I'm not going to go into detail. The thing that stood out to me the most was that I thought it was common. I thought it was something that just happened. So to me, that means that it happened for over a time period. Because to me, I thought it was just something that happened to everybody. It wasn't out the norm. It was something normal. So reflecting back on that, thinking that was just normal, it must have been going on for a long period of time. I can't remember when it started. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't even remember when it ended. I just remember it just stopped.
Yeah.
But I remember more than one occasion in detail of what happened. Yeah.
Now, I remember when we told our mom, and I think Tanya was talking about some details. And when she said that, I really kind of started remembering some of that. And then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, am I remembering this? Or am I, was it a dream? Because it was what she was saying was so foggy. Now I do remember the one instance, like for sure, it's clear. But what she was saying, it started kind of jogging my memory a little bit, and then I was like, well, I'm not sure if that really happened. But that when you said that, I was like, I do remember that. It was almost like flashbacks were coming, and I'm like, I think that did happen.
We'll go back to when, let's not jump ahead.
Okay.
To telling mama. Go back to when you got the revelation to tell.
Oh, okay.
Start
yeah.
there.
So, I'll never forget it, June of 2011, we were at church. Now, we didn't go to the same church, but me and my family, we were at church, and we were doing a walk through the Bible. And that year, we were doing a walk through the Bible at Bible study, and it was a Tuesday night. And I was just sitting there, and this particular night, it was on Tamar and Amnon. And if you don't know the story, Tamar in the Bible was raped by her brother Amnon. And so my pastor, was telling this story. Well, it wasn't a story, but telling going through the Bible, going through the scriptures. And it was 2 Samuel 13. I believe that's what it is. And start talking about how Tamar was raped. Her brother had this, evil love for her, a love that he shouldn't have had. But, well, not love, it was a lust. Yeah, he had a lust for her. And so he kind of pretended that he was ill and tricked her into his room. And actually a friend of his helped him with this plan. And because of that, he ended up raping her. And so when the story came out, I was like sitting there and literally like in my stomach, it was like, I know it. It was like God was like, it's time to tell. Now, mind you, the service is going on, but I am warring, sitting in the seat. I'm hearing, but I'm not even really listening to what else is going on after that. But God clearly said, it's time. And I was like, in my mind, no, my stomach in knots. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm telling this. No way am I telling this. But it just stayed on me. And I know God was like, it's time. And I'm like, there's no way. So that very next day, Tanya and I
was riding to work together.
For whatever reason, we were riding to work together that day. And I said, well, let's back up a little bit. We never talked about it with each other.
No. We always had a sense, it was never a question that it happened to her, but us sit down, have a conversation. The only time I remember, and I don't even know if you remember, is we were sitting in the backseat. We had to be about 5. I think I was 5, you maybe 4. We were sitting in the backseat of Mama's car. I remember she had that old blue Monte Carlo. I never forget. We were sitting in the backseat, and she was driving, and we was on 70. We was driving down 70. And I turned around, and I looked at you, and I said, I don't want to go over to the house anymore. And you just said no. But we knew what we were talking about, but we never said what we were talking about. And then that was the only conversation we ever had.
And that is interesting because I do not remember that.
I remember that.
I do not remember that. But like, as far as I know, we had never even spoke of it. Like, we really didn't.
That was the only time. That was the only conversation. And we understood what I meant, but we never had any other conversations about it.
Nope, never said a word. We just went on with life. We weren't bad kids. We didn't have bad grades. So, like, if you're thinking that, oh, well, you'll know that something's going on. No, you won't. We were social. We had friends.
We had relationships, dating.
We were just normal kids. You would have never guessed or even thought that anything had happened with us. And so back to when it was time for me to tell. And so we were in the car together on our way to work, and I said, I don't know how you feel about this. I said, but I think it's time that we tell. But you knew what I was saying.
I knew what you were saying, and you never had to say anything else other than it was we already understood what the conversation was about. It was never a question of, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember? As soon as you said it, I knew what you meant.
Yep. And I was thinking that she was going to be like, no. And that would have been it, shut down, bam, done. And she said, what'd you say?
I said, okay, let's do it.
And I was like, let's do it. Like, no way. And so I said, okay. We still did not say. So I guess the goal really was, like, honestly, after that moment, who were we planning to tell?
I don't think we even had an idea.
No.
Here's the thing. You brought it up, so I'm leaving it all on you. You said, let's tell. I'm saying, well, she must have a plan.
I had no plan.
So I would say, okay.
No plan whatsoever. All I know is I just knew I had to tell. Who I was going to tell, I had no clue. I just know that it was time to tell. I think I told some friends at that.
I had already been telling a couple friends.
Yeah, I had told no one. Like, no one. So even, so past that, months went by. we didn't really talk about it after that.
No.
Months went by, but it was eating at me, and I'm like, I know. And I think I even said little hints on Facebook. I would say little things like, I know I need to tell something, blah, 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 stuff like that. But never, we didn't say anything after that.
No.
So I think we told some friends. As it got closer to Thanksgiving, I think we had planned. No. When we got to Thanksgiving, we told Belinda.
But you had said before then that you want to. We did have a conversation before Thanksgiving came.
Okay.
And you had brought up the fact that I think that we should tell, but I think Belinda be the one. We had already chose her before Thanksgiving, and then when Thanksgiving came around, it was like, okay, this is the day.
Right.
This is the day we're gonna do it.
Because we chose one cousin that we're close to that we wanted to tell, because we wanted to tell our mom, but at that point, I think we wanted to, but just like, how do you tell your mother something like this? And we didn't want to, and I don't know how you felt, but I didn't want her to know, because I didn't want her to feel like that this was her fault, or that she missed something, or that, I just didn't want her to take the blame. It was a protection thing, just wanted to protect her, because I can only imagine how she would feel. I only imagine how I would feel if my own kids came to me to tell me this kind of story. So the closer Thanksgiving came, we told some close friends of ours. They were praying with us. I actually did tell my pastor about it too, because I actually had typed up an email to send to him, I think that next day after I told you, and I just kept it in my drafts and I never sent it. So eventually I did tell him, before we told our cousin, I did tell him, and we told some friends. They were praying for us. But I think they were praying for us before we were telling Mama. I'm sorry, y'all. We trying to remember all of this, how it happened. But just, okay, so just to move forward. So we told some friends, and when Thanksgiving came, we knew that we were going to tell our cousin. So we brought her in the room and kind of told her, and even though we told her, I was still like scared, like, oh my gosh, should I even be saying this? And the good thing is that she immediately believed us.
It wasn't even a question. It wasn't even a question.
It wasn't a question. She believed us. It has been in our corner
ever since. And then the funny thing, immediately she said, well, you got to tell your mom. And we immediately said, no. We are not doing that. No. We told you that's enough.
Yeah.
But she was like, and the thing that stuck with me from that conversation,
I know what you're going to say.
is immediately she said, why are you all acting like you're still 3 and 4?
Yes.
Every time I think about that, stuck with me, because the thing is, we still was in that trauma.
We were in that trauma.
Because emotionally, we were still 3 and 4 years old.
Yes.
We got stuck in that place.
Yeah, I'll never forget her saying that, because she stopped and looked at us. She said, why are you all acting like you're 3 and 4?
She sure did.
Well, I know she said 3 and 4, but she said, young. But we, like you said, emotionally, and at that very moment, we were 3 and 4.
Absolutely right.
I will never forget that. Like
I never forget it too.
Because I was thinking,
like,
it was like a light bulb.
Exactly. It was like wow.
Oh my gosh.
You don't realize that you get stuck in trauma until you have to face it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. And we never even realized that emotionally, that's where we've been emotionally children since that moment.
And we had no clue. So she was like, well, you all need to tell your mother. And we were like, no way. No way. And she was like, no, you have to. And we were like, no way. So I think the next day is when we actually told our mother. And that was a day. I think I was nervous the whole day. Yeah, we were.
I was on edge we went to work. And I was not good that whole day, waiting and expecting, because I didn't know what was going to happen. My nerves was on edge. It's like the hair all over my body was just standing up. I was a wreck that whole day, anticipating what we was getting ready to do and knowing what we had to do. It was emotionally completely draining for me.
We were actually, I don't know if you remember this, we were over Dawn's house. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
We were over her. I think we were over her house. I'm pretty sure. And we were so nervous. Like, they were praying for us. When I say that nervousness and that fear of telling her, and not that we were scared that I mean, I don't know if the fear was just her knowing. It wasn't scared like she would be mad at us or anything like that.
No.
I think it was just like we have been holding this and hiding it and been in silence for over 30 years.
Right.
Absolutely. We were 34. I think I was 34.
That was 11 years ago. So it had to be, I was 38 because I'm 49 now. So about 38.
So I guess I was 37 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we actually told.
Look, I said 11. That's not right. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
because I'm 48. Right. Yeah.
That's about right.
So so I was 37. She was 30. I thought we were younger than that, but I guess not. And we had held this for over 30 years.
Right.
So now we were about to, like once you do it, there was no going back.
It wasn't.
Well, after we told our cousin, there was no going back.
No.
But
she
now,
wasn't gonna let us go back.
Yeah. And then it's like, maybe we shouldn't have said nothing. Like all these thoughts,
everything.
The anxiety, all of it. It's like maybe we should not have said anything.
Right. One thing though, she was with us every step of the way. She didn't. Once we told her, she was all in.
Yeah, our cousin. She was all in. When I say she was with us, when we told our mom, like with us the entire time. And we just love her to death. We're so glad that she has been with us. Our cousin Belinda. I was trying not to say names, but our cousin Belinda, every step of the way. She was with us. Yes. Like 100% support.
No questions asked.
None. She just supported us as soon as we said it. And she told us she believed us. And that is something to me goes a long way.
It does.
Because it's nothing like telling your truth and
having somebody believe you and don't question you and support you. And the thing is, maybe not even that they just come out and say, I believe you, but even if they have their doubts, they still support you and push you for you to tell your truth, regardless of how they feel about the situation.
Because this is our truth. It's our truth. We didn't make this up, and trust me, we wouldn't. This is not something that people would want to make up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we told our mom and kind of speeded up a little bit. So we told her. She believed us. She believed us. She didn't. She wasn't like upset that we.
So let's go back to the day we told.
Okay.
So we got to tell the story. We got to tell the story.
Right. I'm trying to speed it up because there's so much to it. So much to it. Right.
So the day we told the story, we all met at her house.
Yeah, at my mom's house.
We met at my mom's house, and Belinda met us there. And I think I was nothing but a ball of nerves. I was done. The anxiety, I couldn't do it. It was to the point that when we got to tell, I had to go in the other room and close the door.
Not we, when I had to tell.
I went in the other room and closed. I was so anxious that I couldn't. I couldn't. I checked out.
So she left me there. But our cousin Belinda was still there. So she was there with me. And then, so I actually told our mom. And so it was not easy. Okay. Was I scared to death? Yes, absolutely I was. But I did it. And then eventually
I came out.
You came back out. She came back out. Now, I will say this. Because my mom, if you know her, she can go from 0 to
100 in 2.2 seconds.
Yes, she did not. She remained calm.
She did.
She listened. I don't know how she remained calm, but she did. She remained calm. She listened. And now, did we call our abuser that day?
That was that day.
Okay.
It was all in that same day.
All in the same day. We made a phone call to confront the person that had did this to us.
Right.
And I was expecting...
You was expecting him to say, okay, I apologize. I was not.
I was expecting to hear, I am sorry. I did this, I'm sorry. And I was expecting to hear that so we can forgive, move on, and everything. That is not what happened.
That is not. I was not expecting that. Because to me, he had no reason. It had already been 30 years. So what was the point in owning up to it now? So that was not my expectation.
Yeah,
I
so,
had none.
Right. So my expectation was that he was going to confess. We were going to forgive, and all will be well.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No. So it was said that something had happened to us, but he did not do it.
Right, that he believed it happened.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it wasn't him.
But it wasn't him.
Yeah.
So basically said that we're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why we're lying on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost it.
She did.
I lost it. As much as saved as I am, and I love God, and I've been, I try to do right. I lost it and cussed him and everybody out. Not everybody, but just cussed him out.
Right.
Because I was just so angry. Like, how dare you tell me I'm lying?
Right.
Like, you know what you did, and you said I'm lying? Because that was not what I was expecting.
Right.
It threw me way off,
right.
And I lost it.
I think somebody had to take the phone from you.
Yeah.
And then I got on the phone, and to the point where when I had the conversation, I had to tell him what he did to me. Like I had to prove it to him.
Yeah. It was almost like we had to prove
right.
what,
Right.
And honestly, that's why a lot of times, people survivors, victims, they don't come forward because it's almost like now they have to prove their own truth.
Absolutely.
But you shouldn't have to, you know?
Yeah, the burden of guilt is on the victim when it shouldn't be.
When it shouldn't be.
And that's the problem
when
people coming forth, especially when it's something like sexual abuse or some type of sexual crime. Yeah. The victim is always put as the one who has to prove the story instead of the one who the abuser.
And that's why people don't even want to go to trial or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna speed it up just for the sake of time. So we told our abuser said we lied, and then after that, then what? Now our mom knows. There's a few family members that knew. We confronted all of that. Now what?
The funny thing was once it was out there, it was like, I can breathe. I can breathe. It's like a weight was lifted off. Literally, it was like breath was coming back in our bodies. Like, it's not a secret anymore. That's not a weight I have to carry anymore. It's like that weight is off me, and it still was some things that we had to work through, but
At that very moment, it was just like,
right. It was like chains being completely broken off. I'm no longer got the ball that I'm hooked to and I'm carrying around with me. That chain and that ball and chain is.
Now, I will say though, for me, I guess right after that, I was kind of like, should I have even done that? Because sometimes you go into regret. Should I have even done that? Should I have said that? Should I have even told? Who's going to think this? You're in regret.
Right.
It's like now the door is open. There is no going back. What is about to happen? And so what I realized, and you probably did too, people that, that we knew or just, people in general started raising their hands.
Right.
Like, hey, this happened to me too. And I was like, wow. Because at that moment, I didn't know that, people, we knew we had, been sexually abused, but we didn't know that people
in
had
our
been.
circle,
We didn't know.
Had no
and
clue.
So, and then it was like, okay, what do we do with this information? And, we started organization and, so much started coming out about sexual abuse and just like in the news and then the Me Too happened and it was so much. But I really believe truly that God had, spoke to me about this because he can see ahead, and he knew that the things were coming up. And I think there was a lot of people that needed to be free, because honestly, like even we talk about our walk. When we go to the walk, I didn't know all those people, but these were people that were carrying in this burden,
right?
This trauma for years, and for them to come forward and say, you know what, I have the same experience.
Right.
This happened to me. Now they are able to begin their own healing journey.
Right. Absolutely. For me, it was like you say, immediately afterwards, you feel free, but then it's like you talk to yourself and you over criticize. And then for me, it was like, what is everybody going to think? I didn't put all this secret out there, and it makes you feel dirty. Mm-hmm. And so now I can no longer hide the dirty spots.
Okay.
Because,
right.
And the shame of it all.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, I realized people that I know for years came to me and say, I didn't know that happened to you. You know,
right.
What happened to me too.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I didn't know. And it's amazing because now people are like, you gave me the strength to speak up. And I'm like, well, that wasn't my intention.
Right, was not at all.
The intention was to free myself. But you don't realize when you free you always free somebody else along with you.
Yep.
And so that was the amazing thing.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, once it's out there and you put your name dotted on the I, it's like everybody is looking at you. So it was like TV and the news and the radio and it's just like a domino effect.
Yep.
And then you was doing speaking at different churches and and all that.
It just opened up this door.
Right.
And then I truly we God graced us to walk through it, because I just don't know how I did. But also I didn't want to feel pity. I didn't want anyone to look at me with pity, like, oh girl, I'm so sorry. I didn't want that vulnerability like that. I just, okay, yeah, but you don't have to pity me, because I'm okay.
Right.
I'm truly am okay. Now, did we have to go through therapy? Yes. Even the support groups that we were doing, it was for me too. It wasn't just for the people in the support group, it was for all of us, so we begin that journey and begin that healing.
Absolutely.
Which is needed. You need that support.
You do.
You need those groups.
You do.
Seek those groups out. It's okay to go to therapy.
It is.
It's needed, because when you heal, now your whole family can heal.
Absolutely.
It's like you give people the permission to heal as well. So you don't want to not do it. You want to move forward into that journey.
Right. It's freeing for you. And then, the thing about it is you never want to be the picture of sexual abuse.
Right.
I don't want to be that picture, because soon as they see sexual abuse, it's like, it's a taboo, but the thing is, I'm okay with being that, because I'm not the bad part of sexual abuse.
Right.
I'm the surviving part.
Yeah.
And so I need people to understand that I survived and you can too.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Letting other people know that what I've been through is not who I am.
Yeah.
That's just a portion of it. And because I passed that trauma, now you can see me in the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because going through it before my personality has changed so much from before to now. You can see before and after. My personality, I'm more outgoing.
Yeah.
I was very quiet and shy and kept to myself, but now I'm more outgoing. I'm talk more, even though I don't necessarily think I talk a lot.
I've always been a talker.
But I have not. I was the passive, quiet one, where she was always the outgoing one, and now I'm still not as outgoing as all of this. But I'm more outgoing and more able to speak. And then it opened the door and allowed God to use me, in speaking, and I speak more in church, and I'm teaching more, and But if I had not revealed the secret, I probably still wouldn't be the same person. I probably still would be in a box or in that shell.
Right.
But it take us to get through that trauma to open up the doors to what everything else God has done. Because if we didn't go through it and heal from it, we'll never know the outcome of what God had for us.
Yep,
we had to go through it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in order for us to go through it, it enables us now to bring other people through.
Yeah. And dang, I was about to say something. Lord, I forgot that quick. Like you're saying about being the face of sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. No, I did not want to be the face of sexual abuse, but I'm okay with it because like God used me to be an example for someone else. Mm-hmm. Is my life perfect? No. But is this showing them that they can overcome? Yes. Mm-hmm. And that is my hope for anybody that has been abused. And I'm going to go back to the statistics. 1 out of every 3 girls and 1 out of every 5 boys will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. And again, that is only the ones that tell. So we don't know the true numbers. Mm-hmm. We don't. Mm-mm. Is it hard to come forward? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It is. Is it freeing? Yes. Now, I'm going to say this too. Our outcome was that we were believed by our mother, yes. Our family. Now, is that going to happen with everybody? No. Mm-mm. There are times that parents don't believe, their friends don't believe them. They'll ask them, why did they? Now, I did get asked a lot, why did we wait so long? That's an answer that I can't give you. I don't know why we waited so long. It's just that it's such, I think because it's such an intimate trauma, you just don't tell,
Right.
Will you make the decision if you want to report? Mm-hmm. If you want to, you can. You do not have to.
No.
That is your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Even like people who do report and they end up going on trial, a lot of times the abuser will not get convicted. But that is your choice if you want to do so. Do we need to speak up? Yes. Why? Because there are children behind us that need to know. And unfortunately, in the Black community, what goes on in the house stays in the house. And we need to get rid of that, because if Uncle Joe, or Uncle John, whoever, I'm just using names, was out here molesting half the kids in the family and they don't tell, it's just going to continue.
Absolutely.
So, it's up to us to be honest and to tell. And I do understand why you don't. I totally understand.
Right.
But it would be better if we do, so we can stop, what is happening.
Right.
Because unfortunately, it's not stopping.
It starts with conversation.
Yeah.
We need to start having the hard conversations.
The hard conversations.
And I know, especially with our children.
Yeah.
And I know that we, as parents, want to protect them.
Yeah.
But we have to have those conversations with them.
Yeah.
Because we have to make them understand that you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of what's good, what's bad. And then they have to be in a safe space so they feel safe to tell. And in order for them to feel safe to tell, we have to talk to them.
Yeah.
The kids nowadays are smarter than we give them credit for.
Because they know a lot. Yes, they know a lot more.
Everything is on the internet. Everything is on the TV. So what are you holding back for?
Right.
They see it anyway. They hear it at school anyway. It's better for you to have the conversation with them than they have it at school with their friends, or and then get into a situation.
Yeah. It is better, and allowing them that space for, like you said, that they can come and talk to you. Because we need to listen to our kids too, and to kind of give you some more, I guess, tips or kind of what to look for. I don't know if there's really signs to look for, but I can kind of give you a few things. How do I know if my child is being sexually abused? I would say begin with a conversation. Be honest about their body parts. Don't sugarcoat, but begin that, and not a conversation where you're yelling to them, did something happen to you? Just start talking to them. Just a conversation. If you notice like their attitude is changing, if their grades are changing, if their eating habits have changed. You know your children, and if you notice changes in them, don't just overlook it and say, "Oh, they just going through something." Have a conversation, talk to them.
Right.
Kids don't want to just start acting up. Obviously there's something going on, and just ask them. It may be something else, but you want to know
and listen. We have a hard time, especially us as Black mothers.
Come on.
We do not listen to our children. We think we know what's best. And in some cases we may do.
We do, yeah.
But we have to allow them to speak to us without us yelling at them, without us contradicting them, and just be quiet and listen.
Yeah.
Because you have to allow them that opportunity to feel safe to tell you whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you just listen and just be quiet.
Yeah.
Because we have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, have those hard conversations.
It starts at home.
It starts at home. It really does. It starts at home. And honestly, and even them having someone that they can tell. So if they can't tell you, preferably there is someone in their family that they're close to, that they feel comfortable that they can talk to.
Right.
Now, if you're an adult and you have not told and you want to, my suggestion is to find a safe place, whether it be definitely someone you trust. It could be a friend, family, somebody at your church, somebody at your job, somebody, your therapist, somebody that you trust that you want to share this with.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know, pray about it. Ask God, who can I talk to that is a safe place to go?
Right.
And there are hotlines that you can call. There's BHR, Behavioral Health Response. You can contact them. There is RAINN, RAINN. You can look up rain.org. You can contact them, and they're open 24/7. These are things that you can use, resources to kind of help navigate you through that healing process and start that. Because let me tell you, there is freedom on the other side.
It is. It really is.
There is victory on the other side.
Absolutely.
There's new life on the other side.
Absolutely.
Like there's so much.
There's so much that's waiting on you. That's waiting on you to just break free of this thing that's holding you.
Yeah.
And like you said, with all the organizations and the talking, if you can't talk right now, start journaling.
Yes.
People don't realize how much that helps.
Yeah.
It starts with just writing it down. And then realize that your feelings are valid.
Yeah.
How you feel is valid. It's your truth. And it's nothing wrong. Nobody can tell you how you're supposed to feel, how you should feel. How you feel is valid. If you're angry, that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. Whatever way, however you need to do it, you have to release that. You have to.
Yeah.
So if there's nobody that you can talk to, start writing it down.
Yeah.
Write
That's
it down.
good. That's good. Yeah, writing is always good. I think I journaled I guess the first year or so when we went through this. Kind of just journaled what we were doing and who we talked to and all of that. It kind of helped me to kind of process a lot of this stuff because it was just like all of a sudden we went from 30 years to now, okay, everybody in the world knows.
Right.
Yeah, we were on, not pushed, but we were just on TV, radio, all of this. And it's like, oh my gosh. So, journaling helps because it will kind of help navigate you through those emotions.
And then pace yourself. You don't have to tell it all at once.
Yes.
You tell until you're uncomfortable. And if you just can't, it's okay to
stop.
It's okay to stop.
It's okay.
Because the truth is people are going to have questions.
Yep.
And they're going to want to know specifics. And if you're not comfortable, tell them, I'm not comfortable right now.
Exactly. This is your journey.
Right.
You go as slowly, as quickly, however as you need to.
Absolutely.
Do not feel pressured to tell. And don't feel pressured because we have told our story. This is how our story happened.
Right. That's
now,
right.
what happens for you is for you. But go at your pace and just know that if you are watching right now, if you're listening right now, and you don't think anyone believes you, we believe you. We believe you. Just take the time and really decide how you want to do it. If it's so overwhelming, I definitely would suggest finding a therapist or a counselor.
Right, yeah.
The YWCA is a perfect place to start. They offer, I think they might have free counseling if I'm not mistaken. But contact the YWCA, Sexual Assault Center. They can help you there. There are definitely resources.
Your EAP at work.
Yes,
People don't take advantage of it, but their jobs now offer therapy.
Yeah.
Look into it. Your insurance offers it, and they have therapists that take care of this type of issue.
Yeah.
Take advantage of what your job offers.
Definitely.
They have those benefits
Definitely.
just in place for that.
Yeah. So, that is pretty much, I guess, kind of sums up. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to talk about as far as.
I want you to talk about moving forward.
Oh, yes.
Because find a support group.
Yes.
And then if you need somebody to talk to, moving forward has a number that you can call. That way you can reach out to one of us, mostly her. But we are available through moving forward to speak, to help point you in the right direction.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of information right here. So you can contact us through Moving Forward Ministry.
Yeah. So back in 2012, we started Moving Forward Ministries, which is now Moving Forward Healing Center. And it was just support. It was support groups that we offered for people that were looking for a place to come and to share and to talk. Now, we have not done a lot in the past couple of years, especially with COVID and everything, but we're about to start back up next year, actually, 2023. And that number is 314-329-7440. So we are currently working on our website. So our website is not back up yet, but we're working on that to get that back up and running. But again, that number is 314-329-7440, and that's Moving Forward Healing Center. And we can give you resources. We'll let you know when our support groups are starting back up. So that way, take advantage of those resources.
Right.
Because you want to be able to start this journey.
Right.
You know, we're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
We are praying for you.
Right.
We love you. And we just really want, because the good thing is, and I know you probably can attest, is like, you know, a lot of times say, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Now this is my assignment. But it's like, once I did that, it was like a lot of things started opening up because I was not bound anymore.
Right.
I was
Absolutely.
free to move forward, ministry, to move forward and to walk into what God has called me to walk in. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I agree. This has totally freed me up to do what it is that God has asked me to do. And I'm doing more teaching and a little more speaking.
Yeah.
And, but I just can't imagine what I would have been if I hadn't released it.
Right.
I would not have been the same person that you see before me now.
Yes, and that is true. And actually, Latonya will be facilitating the support groups once they start up. So that is a good thing. So that's kind of what she does, and that'll be her baby. Right. So we're excited about that.
We are.
Yeah.
And the thing is, help is just one phone call away.
Yeah.
It just starts there.
Once
you start the process, even if you start and stop, it's never too late to begin again. It's never too late to begin again.
Never too late.
We always want to start losing weight and then we stop losing weight and start.
Right.
Why not do the same thing with your mental health?
Just start.
If you fall back behind, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're not done. It's not over. Just pick up the phone.
And one thing my therapist said to me is there's always room for adjustments.
Absolutely.
And when she said that, that freed me because, I had a list of everything that I want to get done. And she was just like, remember, there's always room for adjustments.
Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, she is so right. There is, that was freeing for me because it's like, my mind, I get this all done now. And she's like, no, take your time. Go at your pace.
Right.
And just know what you need. And be okay with what you need. And it's okay. So that's pretty much, I guess, our story. Yeah. We just really wanted to share that for those that didn't know it. And also to let you know that, again, there is healing and there is freedom and there is joy and there is peace. All on the other side.
Right. It's never too late and you're never too old.
Never too old.
Never too old.
Never too old. Some people go years longer than us and don't speak up. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to speak up. So again, you guys, thank you so much. This is Be the Voice podcast brought to you by Voices Magazine. I want you guys to check out Voices Magazine as well. These are stories from survivors of sexual abuse, and that's what it stands for, Voices of Sexual Abuse Survivors. Absolutely. And they are willing to share those stories in the magazine, and you can go to that website, which is www.vocesmagazine.com. That's VOSAS magazine.com. And if you want to listen to or watch old podcasts, you can go to Facebook at Be the Voice Podcast. You can go to Instagram And Instagram is Be The Voice _ podcast. So it's Be The Voice _ podcast. And YouTube. Yes, you can go on YouTube to watch it there at Be The Voice Podcast, Apple Podcast, Be The Voice Podcast, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio Podcast. So go subscribe and share. Subscribe and share, like and share. So we just really, want this to get out to everybody. Mm-hmm. And again, if this broadcast has been triggering for you, please seek therapy.
Absolutely.
Please seek therapy.
Yes.
And I'll make sure I'll put that disclaimer on the podcast as well. So again, thank you all so much for always supporting. We just will continue to pray for you. We pray that you get the healing that you need.
Yes.
We pray that if you're a supporter, that you know what to say, how to support. Just look up ways to support survivors.
Yes.
and just be there for them. But the biggest thing is just listen. And sometimes they just want someone to listen, not necessarily feedback. They just want just
a
listen.
Listening ear.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I am Dee Marie, your host.
I am Latonya Buford.
So thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And we will be back again next Saturday. We have some amazing conversations coming for you.
Yes,
Again, it's
so
not always
excited.
Sexual abuse, but we have some great things coming. So just continue to stay tuned, and we will see you when we see you. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. We will talk to you later. Bye.